The head aches often and does not thank the neck that carries it without aching. Welcome to our next episode. Good morning, Subahul Khair, bonjour, Kolafia Ekaro, Ansuma, Tasiba Mimamachi. Before continuing for where we pause, I wish to add something about Kofi Ajiman, the one who was pushed to me to come and fight me, or who chose to, because there was this indiscipline there. He just came and stood with me and was shouting and pouring paraphrase on me. And when I shouted, they came and told me that I was fighting. Can you imagine? This Kofi Ajiman went to the directorate in Kumasi from Konongo and demanded being promoted to a technician. They looked through his papers and they told him, but you are employed as a laborer. This is it. Here in our records, you are a laborer. How can you be promoted to a technician? So you see how ignorant people are. But after they dismissing me because of him, about 3 years later, he died. And before dying, the stomach got swollen, inflated. You could see him like a pregnant woman before he died. Apparently, he was cursed by the patients who used to patronize the lab. I refuse to take monies, illegal monies taken from the patients. They call it chopping. That was the reign of President Kufuor. He said pregnant women should be seen free of charge. That wasn't the case in the lab, at least. They would come. First, they would perform the test, or we would perform the test, and one of them would sit in the hidden room and call the patients one after the other to come and pay money before they hand their results to them. This is what people have learned to do. She can't speak English. That's what she has learned to do. And she was the woman of the hospital because she could dash monies. I told them, I warned them. They wouldn't take it. I stopped taking the monies, and that's when the problem came. Because I didn't know that's where the monies came from. I think about a week or two after detecting that, that's how they were getting their monies. And so you see how he died. You are warned. Somebody tells you, stop this. You don't stop it. You see how he died. Oh my God. Okay, let's continue from where we stopped. And it was after school, that is, even if they are relocated in the lab at all, that's concerning field assistants. They are not any specialized workers. Many people got maybe aggregate 30s or so at O levels. Okay. I did the first sputum staining together with Mr. Ajiman, Kofi Ajiman. The other two workers were occupied in the lab. That notwithstanding, the following Saturday, when I was when I was exposed, when I was supposed to be on duty, Fossey asked me not to come to work. A field assistant telling the technician not to come to work. Somebody who can speak English, because she was in charge of the place. And like I said, she had the support of the workers. Not to come, yes. Then I continued on Saturday, July, Saturday, 30th July, 2011, I suppose. Yes, from 2001 to 2011. This is where I continued from. Yeah, I think 2011, either 2001 or maybe I made a mistake. But, I think it's 2011. Let's go back a bit and see. Okay, we detected later. It could have been 2001. So, okay. Uh, of course, I would not make any money for rest to share. Yes, tuberculosis, there's no money there. Even if they could have made money from tuberculosis patients, they don't care. Come on, pay this. And they will be grateful because they used to go to Nkoko, Kumasi, Agogo to do spitting tests. They could easily tell them, pay this before I do the test. So I shouldn't come. I shouldn't come on Saturday. Of course, I would not make any money for us to share, for all of us to share. Yes, such is the situation, or such was the situation, and I believe it is still today. Today, that the economy in Ghana is biting. People don't have money. Somebody can even confiscate your money from you. Is it today that it will stop? Okay. A field technician giving instructions, a field technician giving instructions to a lab technician at least 2 decades ahead of her. Had worked as a laboratory technician at least 2 decades before even she completed, in my estimation. 2001, from 1980 to 2001, thereabout. Hmm? This situation continued with me being sidelined by almost all the staff, yes. But I stuck to my gun. At last, they developed a scheme against me. Mr. Ajiman provoked me, and we exchanged hot words, directly face to face, without the exchange of blows. This act had been carried out several times before by other staff members, even, even with patients. Yes, they even used to fight patients. Evil indeed. Something that should never happen. Even with patients, nothing had happened. Nothing had happened. In my case, I was given a termination letter. Oh, I've left the letter somewhere. I will show it in our. I hope to show it in my next episode. I was given a termination letter. Mr. Ajiman was being exonerated. Nothing happened to him. Technician and labor fighting. They gave me a termination letter and left him. It happened again in West Hospital. I shall come to read. So you see how rotten the system is. No wonder Professor Akosa, I salute you. He said after retiring, the Ghana Health Service is as sick as the patients is supposed to take care of. Of course, anybody will ask, but you have been there, you are the Director General. What did you do about it? It was this very question was posed by the radio station at the time. And he said, no, he alone cannot change the system. He has his limitations, or he had his limitations. Okay, that's by the way. Okay, Mr. Atman being exonerated. Uh, of course, I did not have an appointment letter yet. No, I didn't have an appointment letter by the Ghana Health Service. It was just casual work, appointment letter as a casual worker. At the time, Dr. Steve Obodo was not at post. He was doing his master's. I call it master's, it might not be. So please, let's take it as master's. I put it in inverted commas. He was doing his master's at KNUST. However, the signature on the letter was his, written, however, by the nurse turned matron by name Margaret. There was a nurse there called Margaret, and it was very, walking about all the place, uh, signing books for attendance and whatnot, just pretending. Of course, he was not going to sign them out if they came late. Just even if they changed the time, just walking about busy for nothing. Mm. So, written, however, by the nurse turned matron by name Margaret. The date of receipt of the letter was January 31st, 2007. I tried several times to be reinstated. I was not. I complained at the Ghana Revenue Service, the district council, and a private radio station, Hello FM. I saw Dr. Obojo himself at home in Konongo, where he used to come from Kumasi at at feast. No, at least at weekends. Yes, at least at weekends. Nothing happened. I was very much peeved because he, the doctor, had asked me to start TB work with my microscope, into brackets, actually belonging to another Russian trained doctor. So my mic actually was given to me by a Russian trained doctor, Dr. Henry Ataura. Dr. Henry, I've looked for you all over the place. I kept on asking for you at Tamale West Hospital. I haven't heard from you. I don't know where you are. Perchance you'll be reading this and we can make contact. I'm grateful. He gave it to me and he never asked me for kobo. He didn't say anything. Mm. Okay. Uh, the doctor had asked me to start TB work with my microscope, actually belonging to another Russian trained doctor. Dr. Obuja was Russian trained, but he was good. Actually, he was very good. The people liked him. He knew his job. That's why I should praise him. He was very good. He knew his job, and patients trusted him. Yes. Henry Ataura, he is the another Russian Dr. Henry Ataura, full stop, in brackets close. He said there was money in it. That's Dr. Obojo. He said there was money in it because the TB control program allocated monies for that. So if you have a facility and you are performing tuberculosis microscopy, the TB program of World Health Organization will compensate it for it. Apparently, because they were being helped, the the World Health Organization was being helped, and again that the TB microscopy is a risky work. So yes, he was right. Program allocated monies for it. He likes he liked money a lot. Yes. Eh? Pardon me to say that when it's come to prison, I will praise. He liked money a lot. In fact, he was corrupt. Hmm? Corruption means many things. It takes many shapes and forms. Remember, he was there and these things were happening. Can we say that he didn't know about them? Hmm? He's still alive. I'm sorry, but I have to say these things. I therefore wrote a letter to him via the hospital asking for compensation for the use of the microscope, a copy of which is attached. I'll show it later. He kept giving the excuse that he was not at post, and so I had to wait until he completed his studies. Dash. That was to last for about 1 year. That's in my estimation. In my estimation. When finally he did complete, the excuse took another turn. He had to sit with the hospital management to discuss it. This never happened until finally he left the Ghana Health Service to open his private hospital called First Class Hospital. He bought two houses. The bought is in inverted commas. I don't know. At the time, I didn't know whether he bought them or he hired them. So the bought is in inverted commas. Mm. He bought two houses in Konongo, Zongo, for the purpose. Mm. Then, with the corrupt money he had amassed from the government hospital, he could now stay in his first class and chew the cud. Well, I don't know how he got the money to get two houses to get out of a hospital and buy equipment and then, things like that. And I believe maybe the compensation from the World Health Tuberculosis Program was given him and he didn't give me a share. Hmm? If that's not the truth, but I have the right to believe that because he never told me anything. And he knew I used my mice. I started a microscope and nothing was given me. Sorry to say that. I respect his wisdom, his knowledge, but his attitude towards me after that was bad. And of course, to tell the truth again, without him, I wouldn't have been employed. I know he'll be telling it now, but I don't argue with that. It was he who came in before I was employed because he didn't know me much. Uh, the people knew me and they didn't want me to enter there at all. But when I saw him, he was friendly and he took me. That is the right thing. I have to state that. Maybe viewers can balance things and see. After taking me and using my mic, why don't you give me something small for it? You had a power to do that. To use the hospital money officially and state and pay me something for it. He did it. Okay. His first class and chew the card. Paragraph. When I saw that I would not be recalled to the Konongo government hospital and could no longer sustain myself, I left for Tamale to find a job in early March 2007. I explained to Dr. Suri, Regional Medical Director, but newly the Regional Medical Director, but newly appointed Director General of Ghana Health Service. Yes, he was the Regional Medical Director. By the time I was there, he had been appointed Director General of the Ghana Health Service, but hadn't yet left Tamale. He blamed me for not being patient and allowing them to take advantage of me not having an appointment letter. Yes, he's a good friend. He said, you knew you didn't have an appointment letter, so you should have waited. Dr. Sorry if this is not something you would like to hear, but I have to state it. I wrote this long time ago. He's always been truthful, he's prudent in everything that he does. This was a private thing he told me, like I said. But, like I say, I'm a plain man and I have to say things. I don't think I can ever say anything against him or that goes against him because of his nature, because of his character. Okay. He blamed me for not being patient and allowing them to take advantage of me not having an appointment letter. Dr. Elias Sori is an old schoolmate since September 1969, together with Dr. Joseph Amagwa and Dr. Animana, who joined us in Form 2 from Notre Dame. Dr. Animana was not in Form 1 when we went there. It was in Form 2. He came from Notre Dame. And he was good. From Notre Dame Secondary School in the same town, Navrongo. Dr. Sori is a plain talking man, but helpful when circumstances demand it. He told me I was not employable. I was aged by then, probably getting to 70. Uh, oh 07, I was about in the 60s from 53, that's 47 plus 47, that around 54 or so. Yes, I think so. Of course, I had barely 5 years. Yes, of course, I had, that's around 55, 54, 55. Of course, I had barely 5 years to be 60, the age of retirement. In my presence, however, he called the regional laboratory technologist by hand. He just waved him like this, come, and he came. He is Joseph Larry, popularly called Joe Larry. He asked Joe which of the labs in the region needed a technician. Zabzugo answered Joe Larry. He then asked Joe to arrange for some contract work for me there in Zabzugo, which was allowed. He didn't have to do it, it was allowed. They are giving contracts to people. And one Dr. Kruku was given contract to take charge of the laboratory in the West Hospital, Tamale. It dawned on me later that I was to face another round of hardship when Joe Larry not willing to give me the contract. When Joe Larry was not willing to give me the contract, it turned out that he had secretly put his brother-in-law by name Sison in the lab. So even though he said Zabzugu was free, it wasn't. His brother-in-law, who hadn't got any laboratory training, was there working. But he answered, okay, Sison in the lab in Zabzugo. It turned out that Sison, at least according to him, had 3 months intensive training in Noguchi Memorial Institute in Kolebu, Accra, probably arranged by Joe Larry. So he was wise. He said, go and do it in 3 months. And Sison himself told me, I did 3 months intensive training. He stressed on the intensive. But even he did it, I am his senior. I had to go there. Okay. Dr. Sori had later as well informed the Zabsco district director by name Mr. Mawe. Oh, this is where my trouble starts. Okay, Mr. Mawe, about me. But Mawe and Joe Larry appeared to be close collaborators in corruption, together with the human resource manager, popularly called Chief Alex. So that was a triangle. Joe Larry, Mawe, Chief Alex. I suffered a lot in their hands. In fact, I shed tears in their hands. Of course, Joe Larry knew me. He knew I was his senior. He didn't qualify to go to SIFOM. I qualified. Only at the SIFOM, for health reasons, I couldn't do well. And he knows I'm his senior. I went to secondary school at about 2 years before him. Okay, Joe Larry, based at the popularly called Chief Alex, based at the regional directorate. I'm sorry, my pronunciation goes bad sometimes. Started going bad. Mr. Mawe, therefore, kept delaying the award of contract with flimsy excuses until Dr. Sori packed bag and gadget, until Dr. Sori packed bag and baggage to start work in Accra as the Director General. Let's pause here, viewers, and continue in our next episode. Thank you very much for listening, and may God bless us well and listen well, and you see the hurdles that I've gone through in life, and I'm still smiling. I'm smiling more than them because I have a good heart. I don't fear anything. You can't tell me Sule took a kobo from anybody wherever he went, even in private practice. I'll come to it. When I was in extant laboratory, people were giving me monies. I used to refuse. Private clinic, where I could go, nobody asked them. They were just giving me monies. They come, oh, take this. I said, no. Oh, I am employed. I get salary. You don't get anything. You are sick. You are coming here to be treated. Take it. And I kept telling them that without knowing the receptionist called Cordelia. Cordelia, if you're around, I salute you. Cordelia wasn't happy about it. And so she hated me. She was always frowning at me. But I didn't understand. I was naive, a novice. But why does this girl not like me? Okay. She expected me to collect the money and probably share it with her or some people in the lab. I didn't know that. So I don't know that kind of thing. I don't like it. Then one day some incident happened. Uh, yes, then one day something happened. Somebody followed the wife to the lab to demand to demand what happened when the wife came, or to find out what happened when the wife came. I believe the wife had exaggerated the amount charged by the lab. We charged her, but she went and told the man an exceptional high cost price. And the man came to find out. When they came, it was argument here and there, here and there. The people in the lab were getting, they wanted to expose the woman directly. And I, being a prudent person, somebody who is much reasonable than them, I called them into a small room. And what I told them was a piece of advice. I said, look, these people have been married for some time. Please do not break the marriage here in this lab. Please let them go. Solve it. Know how you can go about it and let them go away. Because you could spoil the marriage here. And if the man is hot tempered before you realize, pa, pa, pa. I said, no, just solve it. We know we haven't taken excess money from here, so let them go. But then the man, seeing me calling them secretly into the room, said, this is probably the man who collected the money. Because the woman couldn't pinpoint who collected the money. I said, oh, this is probably the man who collected the money. Then when we came out, I saw Cordelia fighting the man and shouting at him, seriously, and telling him, you said this man collected the money. This man, people come all the time giving him monies. He doesn't take. Is it your wife's money that he would take? I was surprised. I shook my head. I said, yeah, okay. Now I understand why while Cordelia didn't like me, I should have been collecting the monies. But you see, she didn't like me, but she bore witness in my favor. Cordelia, wherever you are, thank you very much. So this is the story. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing it. It was a friend, a Malam friend, who told me, oh, if they give you money, take them. If they give you money, take them. They are giving them from your heart. Even if you know you are richer than them or you are collecting more salary, you could even hurt them. But even then, I didn't think so. I, working, getting regular salaries, somebody comes, no work. Some of them no work. You see them, you look at them, you say they have no proper work. Then they come, you do lab tests and you collect money. No good bad job. Anyway, we shall continue later. Thank you very much. Illa leka baba, and may God bless you. May God have mercy on all of us. May God change our hearts, not to be chopping monies left and right, not remembering God and not remembering the end of our life. Bye bye. Illa leka. Au revoir.